Mother Teresa once said, human rights are not a privilege conferred by government. They are every human being's entitlement by virtue of his humanity. Hi, I'm Angie. According to International Labour Organization, there are approximately 476.6 million of indigenous people all around the world, belongs to 5,000 different groups in 90 countries worldwide, and 70% of them live in Asia and the Pacific. While in Indonesia, AMAN, Aliansi Masyarakat Adat Nusantara, estimates that the number of indigenous people in Indonesia is between 50 million to 70 million people. Indigenous people were born, grow, and live as human, like us. In other words, they deserve their rights as how we deserve our rights. But sadly, a lot of them still live under discrimination. They have to face exploitation, and a lot of indigenous people's rights defenders have to face violence and even murder just to protect the rights of indigenous people. The land indigenous people live in is home to over 80% of this planet's biodiversities and rich in natural resources such as gas, oil, timber, and minerals. But sadly, this land is often sold, sealed, or appropriated, or simply plundered and polluted. And a lot of indigenous people have been uprooted from their land due to the discriminatory policies or armed conflict. Yes, it's sad, but it's true. Those are the realities that are being faced by indigenous people. In 2016, Batiar bin Sabang, an indigenous farmer in Sinjai, South Sulawesi, was arrested by force and was sentenced to 1 year in prison for stealing 40 pieces of timber in his own land, which was claimed by the local government as limited production forest area. While in Kalimantan, the chairman of Laman Kinipan customary community, Effendi Buhi, was arrested by security forces for allegedly committing theft, seizure, and coercion. Besides him, there are also other 5 people who were criminalized. While according to the activists, what they did was just defension. They were trying to prevent the forest there to be cut down and to be converted into palm plantation. What they did was just trying to take and hold the chainsaw, and that is not seizure or theft. And sadly, those are not the only cases. Out there are hundreds, thousands, or even millions of people who suffer the same thing as what they face, or even worse. So what can we as millennials do to protect the rights of indigenous people? Because we do know that this country, Indonesia, belongs to all of us, including you and I. Not simply belongs to the government or president, no. This country belongs to all of the citizens. In other words, all of us are responsible to what's happening in our country, including to protect the rights of indigenous people, or at least don't take away their rights from them. So what can we do? First, start with yourself. Mahatma Gandhi once said, if you want to change the world, start with yourself. Let's start from ourselves. Let's raise our awareness that indigenous people's rights matter. They deserve their rights. Rights to be free and equal to all others. Right to be free from any kind of discrimination and shall not be removed from their land by force. Number 2, let's spread this awareness. By talking about this issue with our family, friends, or siblings, we'll raise their awareness as well. The awareness about this issue is important as well. And especially, we live in digital era where we can spread information easily even to the other side of the world, especially through social media. Let's make good use of social media. Let's help people through it, especially to protect the rights of people they deserve. Number 3, let's voice out our thoughts. Let's help the indigenous people. Let's protect their rights by voicing out our thoughts. Never be afraid to voice out our thoughts. We can voice out to a lot of platforms such as social media, article, and many more. And remember to always be wise in voicing out our thoughts and don't share hate comments, because there are always better ways for us in voicing out our thoughts. And besides that, we can also help those indigenous people by signing petition. Well, some of us might think, what for? I voice out my thought. Nobody will listen to me. And if I don't do that, there are still a lot of people doing it. And about the petition, by signing or not, what difference can I make? But ladies and gentlemen, do you realize that one voice is important? One voice can change the world. And that one voice is your voice. Number 4, be part of organizations that help the indigenous people. It is always something wonderful to be able to help people directly. Because besides we share happiness, besides we help those people, we can also know more about each other and gain valuable experiences which cannot be bought with money. Ladies and gentlemen, each person deserves their rights, including indigenous people. As Mother Teresa said, human rights are not a privilege conferred by government. They are every human being's entitlement. Why would we take away people's rights when we can help them to protect their rights? Why would we share hate when we can spread love with people? Do we realize that indigenous people help us to protect the environment, fight climate change, and build resilience to natural disaster? Yet, their rights aren't always protected. So ladies and gentlemen, right now, today, let's help people to protect their rights. Imagine if indigenous people don't exist, what will happen? Balance won't exist as well. To live harmoniously in this world, the first thing we have to do is to think as we, not I. I'm Angie, Valencia. Thank you for your attention.